Moonshiners. Mark and Digger's hottest moonshine ever. Can they handle the heat? The Appalachian Mountains are known for their steep hillsides, hidden valleys, and deep traditions, one of which is the art of moonshining. For decades, people in this remote region have brewed their own spirits, crafting their signature moonshine recipes that have been passed down through generations. In the world of moonshiners, there are few names more legendary than Mark and Digger. These two old-school distillers have become icons, not just for their expertise in making top-shelf moonshine, but for their fearless innovation. In the latest episode of Moonshiners, Mark and Digger take on their most ambitious challenge yet, creating the hottest moonshine ever. But with the heat cranked up in the still, will they be able to handle the pressure, or will they burn out? The road to the hottest moonshine and Digger's journey to creating their fiery concoction begins with a simple question. What makes a moonshine hot? The answer, it turns out, is not just the strength of the alcohol, but the flavors and ingredients that contribute to the heat. While most moonshiners are content with creating high-proof alcohol, Mark and Digger want to take it a step further. They want to push the limits, creating a moonshine that not only tests the potency of their still, but also challenges the senses of anyone brave enough to sip it. Their plan? Infuse their signature moonshine with some of the hottest peppers known to man. The goal is clear. Craft a moonshine that will set tongues on fire, but still be smooth enough to drink without causing a meltdown. This isn't your average batch of corn liquor. This is moonshine that will make you sweat, burn, and maybe even question your life choices. Selecting the ingredients before they can even think about distilling, Mark and Digger have to get the right ingredients. The foundation of any good moonshine is its base, and for this batch, they decide to go with a mix of corn and sugar, which gives it a smooth, slightly sweet flavor that will balance the intense heat of the peppers. But the real challenge is choosing the peppers that will infuse the moonshine with its fiery kick. They start by selecting a variety of peppers, from the humble jalapeno to the monstrous ghost pepper and the infamous Carolina Reaper, which holds the title of the hottest pepper in the world. Mark and Digger know that these peppers aren't just about heat. They also carry unique flavors that will give the moonshine complexity and depth. The key is finding the right balance. Too much heat, and they'll create a drink that no one can bear to sip. Too little, and they'll fall short of their goal. As Mark and Digger stroll through a local farmer's market, they select their peppers with care. They talk to the farmers, hearing about the different varieties, and even sample some of the peppers themselves. Their eyes water, their faces turn red, but they're determined. This is the kind of research that will make their moonshine unforgettable. With a basket full of peppers, they head back to their still to begin the process of infusion. The infusion process back at the still, the air is thick with anticipation. Mark and Digger know they're about to enter uncharted territory. They start by slicing up their peppers, red, green, and every shade in between, and soaking them in high-proof moonshine. The goal is to let the flavors of the peppers meld with the alcohol, creating a mixture that is both fiery and flavorful. They carefully monitor the infusion process, adjusting the ratio of peppers to alcohol until they feel the balance is just right. As the days pass, the peppers slowly begin to release their heat into the moonshine. The longer the peppers sit in the alcohol, the hotter the concoction becomes. The room fills with the pungent scent of capsaicin, the compound that gives peppers their heat. Mark and Digger can feel the burn in their throats just from breathing the air in the room. It's clear that they're playing with fire, literally. But they're not done yet. Mark and Digger know that creating a smooth moonshine isn't just about the right ingredients, it's also about the distillation process. They carefully monitor the still, keeping a close eye on the temperature and the proof of the alcohol. The heat from the peppers is potent, but they can't let it overpower the distillation process. If they do, they risk ruining the batch altogether. Testing the heat. Once the infusion process is complete, it's time to test the moonshine. Mark and Digger pour themselves a small sample, their faces a mixture of excitement and apprehension. They both take a deep breath and take a sip. Instantly, the heat hits them like a freight train. The first few seconds are almost pleasant. There's a slight burn, but nothing too overwhelming. But as the moonshine hits the back of their throats, the heat intensifies, spreading like wildfire through their mouths and down their throats. It's builds with each passing second. Mark and Digger's faces turn red, their eyes water, and they both struggle to keep their composure. I think we've created something special, Mark says, wiping the sweat from his brow. Digger nods, his face a picture of pain and pleasure. Yeah, it's definitely hot, but the flavor's there. It's not just about the heat, it's about the complexity of the peppers. You can taste the different layers, the sweetness, the smokiness, and that raw burn. But the real test is yet to come. Can they handle the heat over an extended period of time? Mark and Digger know that creating a moonshine this intense isn't just about taking a sip. It's about sipping it repeatedly, feeling the heat build with each taste. The challenges ahead as Mark and Digger begin to test their creation with a few trusted friends and fellow Moonshiners. They quickly realize that the moonshine isn't for the faint of heart. Each sip is a gamble, a fiery journey that's both thrilling and overwhelming. Some of their friends are able to handle it, while others retreat in defeat, gasping for water and wiping away tears. One thing is certain, this moonshine is a force to be reckoned with. The question now becomes, can they sell it? The moonshine market is full of different flavors and strengths, but none quite like this. Will their fiery creation find a following, or will it burn out before it has a chance to catch on? Mark and Digger are aware that they're pushing the limits of what people are willing to drink. The moonshine is hot, but it's also unique. It has the potential to become a cult classic, a drink that only the bravest moonshine aficionados would dare to try. But it also has the potential to be a one-hit wonder, a novelty that fades into obscurity after the initial shock wears off. The final verdict as the episode draws to a close, Mark and Digger are left to reflect on their creation. They've pushed themselves, and they're still to the absolute limit, creating a moonshine that is hotter than anything they've ever made before. It's a testament to their skill, their courage, and their willingness to take risks. But the real question remains, can they handle the heat? The answer, as it turns out, is yes. Mark and Digger's hottest moonshine ever is a success. It's a drink that tests the limits of what a moonshine can be, and it leaves a lasting impression on anyone brave enough to take a sip. Will it become a staple of the moonshine world, or will it burn out like so many other experiments before it? Only time will tell, but for now, Mark and Digger have proven that when it comes to moonshine, they're always willing to push the envelope. In the end, the hottest moonshine ever is more than just a drink. It's a challenge, a story, and a testament to the unrelenting spirit of the Appalachian moonshiner. And as long as Mark and Digger are behind the still, there's no telling what kind of crazy, fiery creations they'll come up with next. Moonshiners. Mark and Digger's hottest moonshine ever, can they handle the heat? In the highlands of Appalachia, where tradition and rebellion often go hand in hand, moonshining is as much a part of the culture as the rolling hills and the deep, dense forests. For centuries, people in these parts have been crafting spirits in secret, distilling them in the shadows of the law. It's a practice that not only defines the region's rich history, but also its modern-day legends. Among those legends are Mark and Digger, two of the most well-known moonshiners in the world. Their wild, rebellious ways, combined with years of skill and experience, have earned them a massive following. But now they face their most intense challenge yet, creating the hottest moonshine the world has ever seen. Will they be able to handle the heat, or will they get burned? Let's take a look at what's happening when Mark and Digger push their limits in the world of moonshine. The backstory. Mark and Digger's wild ride. Mark and Digger are no strangers to pushing boundaries. As stars of the Discovery Channel's Moonshiners, they've long been known for their daring, unorthodox methods of crafting high-proof spirits. The show follows them as they work in the shadows of the Appalachian Hills, making moonshine that is as potent as it is dangerous. Over the years, Mark and Digger have mastered the art of distillation, becoming renowned for their ability to create high-quality liquor with a signature taste that has fans clamoring for more. But their latest challenge has them stepping outside their comfort zone. In a world where they're used to perfecting their recipes, adding a twist of innovation, and working with the classic ingredients of corn and rye, this new project is different. They're about to take the most powerful ingredient in the world, heat, and incorporate it into their moonshine. What happens when they push their creations to the absolute limits of spice and intensity? The challenge. Heat it up when Mark and Digger are approached by the